Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing an 8.5 by 11 layout. These are two photos of my sister sitting in an inner tube in the river. I will talk a little bit more about the pictures when I'm doing the layout. This here is a cut file from Paige Evans. I had it in my stash. It was cut by Not Just for Boys. I do plan to alter it just a little bit so that it fits my layout a little bit better. And these are some stickers and die cuts that I have pulled from a different sticker sheet, an Echopark sticker sheet. Actually, the little small sticker that says wild and free is from the Echopark sticker sheet. The tree or the leaves and the big title piece is actually from Simple Stories Vintage Lakeside, which is a collection I'm trying to kill while I'm using my lake kit and scrapbooking all these camping photos. Sorry, words are hard tonight. It's a little late and I'm just trying to get the voiceover done. But anyways, so here I'm showing you a few scraps, mainly the ones I'm going to use to back the cut file or add a little bit of embellishments down at the bottom of the layout. And this one here I'm actually going to use as the background, the plaid one. The leaf one I'm going to use to map my photos. And then I believe we'll get started on the layout here in just a moment. I went ahead and backed the cut file offline just because it was a little bit tricky to back it. As usual, it's kind of like the one that I did a couple of days ago. And I will link that video, or that video is linked in my Lake Kit playlist, just because it kind of takes a lot of time to edit the video once I do the cut file, so I didn't really have a lot of time, so I went ahead and just did it off camera. And I did it kind of similar to the other one. This one I did chalk the paper up at the top, or not chalk, it's Distress Oxide that I used to make it look a little bit different blue, so it has shading in it. And then the bottom blue part is one of the pieces of paper. I just used a couple of scraps to fill in the water there. And it could have been ground, it could have been water since the trees are poking into it, but to me it looked like it was water since below that was where the tent and the campfire were that I cut off. So I went with it was water. And then I'm going to add the title there that says Life is Better Lakeside. And I think that's very fitting for this layout. And I like the blue color that's peeking out behind the lakeside letters. So I'm just going to pop that up on some play foam and place it down. And then my photos, like I said, I'm going to mat with that green leafy paper. I did decide to bring in a lighter wood grain paper that's from Close to My Heart. It's also the same paper that the mountains are backed with. I didn't show it in my intro, but it's from the Lake Kit, and it's from a layout that I created the other day, but I didn't use all of it, so I decided to bring in the scrap and use it on this layout. And I went ahead once again and rounded corners, going with the 80s styles photos, or late 70s. This is probably early 80s. I'm thinking it's probably 1980. And I would have to look at some of the other photos that I have of us camping, but that's probably where I'll place it at, is probably about 1980. And basically, I'm guessing by the way that my sisters and myself look in the photos as far as how old we are. I really have no idea. There's no dates on any of the photos, at least so far that we have from camping. But I know that most of them took place in the early 80s, late 70s. And here I'm going to place this turquoise blue colored plaid on top of the green plaid. At first I wasn't going to, but I thought since one is large and one is small, but it also adds a little bit more of that blue color down at the bottom. And then I'm going to cover up half of it with a brown piece of paper that's a wood grain. And that was, again, just to add a little bit something more at the bottom. And then pretty much I'm almost done, not quite. I still have 10 minutes worth of video, but I have a few little stickers here and there that I'm going to add in. I did take one of the tags off the sticker sheet that said floating on it. That's what that blue tag says. And I'm going to place it down at the bottom of the photo. And then I'm going to embellish the other photo with a couple of other little stickers. And this was relaxing and unwind, I think is what that blue tag says. That was from the sticker sheet. And then the wood grain one says natural beauty. And then these little leaves were cut from an ephemera piece that I didn't show. It was an actual one that I had already cut into. It only had these 3 leaves left on it. So I just fussy cut those out, and then I'm going to stick them back in a little cluster and put them here. And they're going to basically go right here at the bottom of the photo. But before I do that, I believe I will remove the pictures, but I'm going to leave the embellishments, and I'm going to splatter white paint. So I wanted the white paint to be splattered on the embellishments, but not the photos. So that's the reason I'm going to leave the embellishments in place. They're not stuck down just yet, but I just didn't want to get anything on the photos. These are the original photos, so I don't want white paint on them. And I do have, digital copies of them, but they're not the best just because these photos have the like a texture on top of them. As far as like the printing went back in the day, they used to have like a texture on them. So that's why, but again, they're over 50 years old, or they're not quite over 50 years old. They're probably over 40 plus years old. And I'm just going to scrapbook them and put them in the album. But I'm not going to put anything on them that, could mess them up. And that would be a white paint splatter right in somebody's face. So that's the reason for removing the photos. Just so you know. Here I already did my white acrylic paint, add a little bit of water, splattered it around. Just grabbing a baby wipe so I can wipe it up. It'll cut over and I'm all done. It's dry now. The white acrylic paint splatters don't usually take very long to dry in my experience. I'm going to go ahead and tuck the photo back in and place it down. And most of the time my light is kind of shining on the photo, so you can't really see it very well. But these aren't the best photos to begin with, but the memory is definitely there. This is something that we did all the time. And if you look closely when I show the close-ups or on Instagram, you can definitely see that she's holding on to a rope. That was my dad's way of keeping us safe and allowing us to still be independent and float around in the river. And we were tied to the inner tube and to the tree. So there was 2 ropes, one for the inner tube and then one for the child that was on top of the inner tube. So if you fell off, you were safe. Of course, you could still drown if you didn't know how to swim. But if you didn't know how to swim, you usually had a life vest on. But for the most part, that was just his rules. Was, we were always within adult supervision. Also, it's not like we were just left at the lake and told to be safe. They were always around. And there's a dog in the bottom of the picture, the smaller picture that I cut down, but it's not our dog. And I'm not sure who it belongs to, so I was okay with just kind of cutting him out because he's not fully shown in the photo. And I kind of covered him up with a little embellishment that I put on the photo. So here I'm just going to add a few sequins from Spiegelmom Scraps. These are the same ones I've been using the entire time with this collection because they match perfectly. This is Hold My Hand. And I'm actually probably almost done with them because I use all of the green ones that I can find. And then I use a lot of the teal color, and then I use a tan color that matches the mountains. So it matched perfectly as far as colors, and I'm just going to place them around by you saw I already put them by the clusters, and then I'm going to put them up on the mountain up here at the top in the cut file. And that's the only part of the cut file I'm actually going to cover with sequins this time around, is just the mountain. And that was just to add a little something up there with that, without adding too much or taking away from the photos. So I think the photos still stand out on the layout, even though I added those up there. And then I think I'm almost done. I think that's the last thing I add. I'm going to add a few more sequins over here in this cluster, and then I will be done. I don't know what I'm getting. Oh, I was getting one more little green one. I found it in the back of the package. It was still stuck in the package. I needed one more little pop of green. So here, I'll hold it up close so you can kind of see it. Again, there's more photos on my Instagram account that show it a little bit better. This one here, they show them here. So if you want to pause it and look at them here on YouTube, you can do that too. It's the same photos that'll be on Instagram. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's layout and get one more lake kit layout done. And I will see you tomorrow with a special birthday layout for myself. Bye!